What up? What up? It's your boy, the coach. Welcome back to the Coach's Huddle where the field meets family, and we are here for another installment of Fourth and Miles. Man, get in here and let's talk about this stuff real quick. Man, simply put, we hurt. We are hurt. 49ers are closing in on week 1 of the 2025 season, and there's really nothing to talk about or discuss but the injuries. Why are the injuries happening? How are the injuries happening? Do they matter? Are they a big deal? Are they happening to the most important players? How are we going to look once everybody gets together? It's same old as far as the Niners are concerned. Out of the last maybe 5 to 6 years, the 1 year where we've been relatively healthy was the 2023 year, where we were ranked 29th overall in the NFL in terms of the most injured team in the NFL. Outside of that, we've been pretty much top 10 here on out, ranking number 1 in a couple of years. So where are we now? Receiver and running back seem to be the most immediate needs right now, with offensive line coming in at a close third, if you will. We just got Sky Moore, second round draft pick from, let me close this shit. We just got Sky Moore, second round draft pick from the Kansas City Chiefs, out of 2022. He was a little bit of the Tyreek Hill. He was a little bit of that Tyreek Hill replacement once he got traded to the Miami Dolphins, and he hasn't done much. I looked over Twitter, looked over a lot of the Chiefs fans to see how they felt about Sky Moore leaving, and they're happy to see him go. It's a win-win for Sky Moore. He gets to go to another opportunity who is, we're not a bottom-feeding team. We are still a contender, even though this year doesn't really look like it. And he gets a fresh start. And the Niners get much-needed help at receiver, which we need. Part of that news is Russell Gage has gone down, who really was supposed to be the contingency plan to the receivers being down, in Brandon Ayuk not coming through. We just heard news of Demarcus Robinson with his suspension of 3 games in the beginning of the year. That's been upheld. I believe that he appealed it, and that's full go. So he's not going to be here for the first 3 weeks. And then there's Juwan Jennings. I mean, he practiced maybe for the first week of camp, and he's been gone for all of camp. So right now, and then Jacob Cowing is hurt again. We can't make this up. And also, Patrick Taylor Jr. has been put on season-ending IR to make room for Nate Sudfeld, because Mac Jones has gone down with something that looks like a bit of a knee sprain. We don't know how long that's going to linger. So right now, it ain't looking good. And you got to ask yourself going into the season, can the Niners, can John and Kyle put together a season that we can be proud of? Now, let's talk real deal Holyfield football, man. We're paying some guys, but it's top heavy. It's Trent Williams, Nick Bosa. Basically the big 7 of our team, which are Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, Deommodore Lenoir, I believe I said him, and Fred Warner, right? Can they stay healthy? Are they enough to be the floor? Who knows? Right now, I think the biggest thing that just stuck out to me was the comments from Kyle about a week ago on SiriusXM Radio, where he flat out all but said that this year was going to be a labor of love, so to speak. they're going to be a different team from week 1 into week 12. Primarily because of that, I have to say, is the injuries. Another side of that is all of the rookies that we're going to play, who we haven't all gotten on the field altogether. Jordan Watkins isn't going. Jordan James hasn't been going. We still waiting on CJ West to get back. Mykel Williams isn't back. These are just the rookies that, not just rookies in our draft, but rookies we're depending on. I just want to be pragmatic going into the season. I understand that as far as the narrative is concerned, there was a discussion that we had on cover 2 with me and Jesse, and Shields, my boy, Frisco Shields, shout out Frisco, asked a very poignant question during the debate, and that was, what expectations are you going to have expectations for John and Kyle and the regime? Or are you going to have expectations for the roster, the team, right? And they are not one and the same. There are people on this team, players that just got here, guys that are doing what they need to do to be ready for the season, that have nothing to do with this 9-year shit show of these guys not being able to keep these guys healthy. And I, for one, am not going to beat my head against the wall expecting something that I do not see. So I ask, right now, do you think it's fair to talk about championship anything with what we have right now as far as injuries are concerned? Preseason has not looked good. That's another question. Have we looked good in the preseason? And I don't care about, preseason doesn't matter. No, man. This is a litmus test of many different factors. People are making and getting cut on the team based off of practice and preseason. This is the only time we get to see these guys. So does it matter to you? Have we had a good preseason? I don't know what we're going to do putting together a full offensive line. Is Connor Colby a guy that we're going to put at left guard? Is Ben Barch going to be ready by the season? There's a lot of questions. And I feel like there's been some indicators that have been happening throughout the offseason that are pretty much telling us as fans to be prepared for a bumpy ride. I, for one, I ain't scared of no bad season. It is what it is. As long as they fight hard, I'm fine. Honestly. As long as they fight hard. Super Bowl is one game. I understand championships matter and all of that. But if they show pride, if they don't embarrass themselves, there are so many ways that we could be proud of this season and not win the Super Bowl this year. Tons. Right? But I think the biggest question coming off of this discussion right now is that, do the Niners simply know how to do their best with what they have? Or does it always have to be championship or flat the fuck out bust? Because that's the ache that I feel coming into this season. They better not mail this shit in. That's all I'm saying. It's because there was a lot of that last year where you didn't necessarily feel like we were putting our best foot forward. I ain't crazy. I'm not the only one who felt that. I'm not the only one who felt like we showed up to games and kind of showed up with the foregone conclusion that we're not going to win this game. Or we were going through games and kind of wondering why aren't we trying our best here? What is up with the play calling in the red zone right now? Why are we living to fight another day? Certain games and the effort and the preparedness, quite frankly, from the coaching staff was completely different in certain games last year. That's what I can't put up with. So if we're looking at this, if we're closing this out, what are some of the hard boundaries that you have for the team? Because perfect is not on the menu. You don't get everything you want, right? So what are some of your hard boundaries? Because I really believe that Kyle and the team, as far as the organization, they're preparing us for a rough year. And with that, I think that it would be important for us to not only quantify it with wins and losses, but qualify it with benchmarks. What are some of the things that they have to do? Is it playoffs or bust? If they don't make the playoffs, is it 10 games? You don't care about the playoffs, you just need them to get 10 games? Is it second in the division? Is it winning the division? Is it contextual? As the season progresses and you draw more syntax off of where we are versus where the rest of the field is it contextual to say, okay, well, you know what? We got a new goal right here because of the situation of the season. Let's see them win that. My biggest thing that is a red herring for me, not even a red herring, but just a big smoking gun for me, is the fact that we either blow the doors off, right, and blaze out because we flew too close to the sun and lose in like the last two games of the season, or we're complete dog water. That's it. That's been the make on this regime. And the only reason why I would like to see a season that says, hey, we can do the best with what we have, and we might even be dangerous in the end of the year if you keep fucking around. I would love to be on a team like that. But I got to feel that way about this team if we keep Kyle past 10 years. Because that's what makes me feel like, all right, man, Super Bowl may not be our year this year, but Kyle is going to put hands down the best product on the field. He's going to coach his motherfucking ass off, okay? And he's not going to leave no stone left unturned. I didn't feel that way last year. I felt like there was a lot of conceding last year. So to move on, to get past this, I'm looking at the large picture. You don't win a Super Bowl every year. And if you do, if you're in the contention, those are, dynasties. Those are bubbles. But for the most part, you want your team to be in the hunt. You want your team to be respectable. You want your team to actually know how to put forth a good product, even if we're not in the dance. And we haven't been able to do that. So, if the wheels start falling off during this season, I think that this is more of an indictment on how this team is built and what these coaches are willing, especially Kyle, what they deem to be serviceable or not with the team, So that's my biggest thing, because I see all the injuries. And one of the things that you have to realize is that with all of the injuries going down, they're going to come roaring all back, right? So a lot of those injuries are going to come rushing back, But what are your expectations? Are they trying to hold off? Are they trying to hold off to get into the playoffs? What are we going to do in the division? That's big. But I'm just, the perpetual injuries, I'm having this discussion because I just want to find a way around it. And I feel like if there's anybody saying, oh, well, they got to go to the Super Bowl, they have to be in the window right now. We're not in a Super Bowl that's done. All right. And we could almost miss out on having a good season faking the funk like we actually are somebody who we're not. And also fans who want nothing but Super Bowls, or they want nothing but championships, and they're not looking at where the team is, especially going into the season. It's like, that's boring, because that that expectation of going to a championship, it only lasts but for so long, especially if they're struggling. So I got a gut-wrenching feeling that they're preparing us for a rough one. And if they are, shit, then I want to be prepared. You know, I want to be prepared and start looking at, hey man, maybe maybe you're 12 and 5s. You know what I'm saying? You're 13 and you're 13 and 3s and all that shit. You're 13 and 4s. Like, maybe that stuff may have to take a break. But look, I just felt like making this video coming into and doing another segment of 4th and Miles because
hazard reported ahead.
All right, I got you. Got a hazard. But I did feel like putting out this video primarily because this is unreal. It's literally an injury by the day, by the practice. So it's important to see what this is going to look like early, and then also understand that if they do lose early, the sky isn't falling. You know, it'd be disingenuous to roll this team out and just expect them to be business as usual. You know, a lot is going on. So I'm gonna sit back and see how it looks, and hope for them and hope for the best, man, because we ain't got no receivers right now, bruh. We bad at running back, man. What I wouldn't do to have certain players back on this field, back on this team right now. We're gonna have we got the coaches meeting with me and Grant later on today, and that's gonna be one of the subjects. If you could kill to have one player on the roster right now, healthy, who left last year, who would it be? Put it in the comments. We're gonna talk about it on the coaches meeting coming up. But it's your boy, the coach, coming at you live from the whip. Stay low and keep your feet moving. Holla at you guys. Peace.